Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be going over Devlog 4 in the Marble Expedition game I'm making in the Blender game engine. So the last devlog I did was about 2 to 3 months ago, and since then there's been lots of new stuff that I've added to the game which I'd like to show you guys. So first of all, here we have the main menu for the game. Once you launch the game, this is what you'll be seeing. From here you can play to select all the different levels. I still need to make a level selector menu thing. You can also access a store, which I'm planning on linking later, and also redoing the previous store system as well. And then you also have options to change all the graphics, turn filters on and off, turn the flare here on and off, and then obviously exit the game. And then you can also select the credits, which I still need to add. So in the previous devlog, the pause menu looked like this and had all the basic options that sort of look like this, but since then I've gone and redone the whole thing and repainted it all so it looks completely different. So this here is the new pause menu with all new textures added to it. Also we have a larger color spectrum to go across. As you notice, I also changed all of this and also updated all the textures to make them fit together a bit nicer. So in the last development log, I had this little demo going here just showing what the game might look like. But since then, quite a few things have changed. As you notice, the signs here, which are meant to sort of help you along and let you read information on how the level is played, but unless you're about this close, they're fairly hard to read, especially the ones in the distance. So I decided to go back to the drawing board and just completely redo them, and instead of having signs you have to read, just sort of have an information pop-up that helps you along. And then on top of that, you'll notice this is a themed world. So what I also wanted to do is for the tutorials is just wipe any themes off, so it's all fairly bland and you can just focus on getting the actual game and learning how to play instead of being distracted by all the cool stuff around. So after retexturing and remodeling and putting everything back together again, here is the first tutorial teaching the player how to play. So once we play the game, we have a cool cutscene, and in our settings here, if we go to the options, you'll notice we have the flare and everything else on. That's why there is flare and all the rest. So regardless of that, over here we have a information box, and that basically pops up with some information on how the game is played, tips on how to play, 10 out of 10 would read. And then as we go along, it gives you more information on how to play the game. So this here is the second level of the tutorial series, and basically it's showing you how all these sort of static elements work in the game. So for example, here we have another information box telling us some more stuff about the speed belt in the background here. So basically what that does is boost any objects that touch it, including the player. So if we push this suitcase on, it will get pushed over there, and also the player gets boosted for it as well. Then over here we have a second element that I added, and these are fans that will push you upward when you stay on them. The fans will actually just push in the direction that they're facing, so in this case it's upwards, so they sort of act like an elevator. So if we put that baggage on, then it will also float upwards. So we'll go from the second one, stay on them long enough, and then land on the platform here. And then as we move down here, we reach our second element, or our first major one, and that is honeycomb, which is sort of allowing you to defy gravity as long as you stay on the surface. So if we go along here, you can see that he's not falling down, he's just staying on and rolling along the surface like so. Now the next element here are these ice blocks, which can cause you to slip if you move too fast on them. It's sort of hard to see the slipping with a plain colored ball, so I've added these blue spots to it. Basically if you move too fast, you end up slipping like this, and you can't control the player until you hit a normal surface again. If you go fairly slow, you'll slip, but then you can regain control like this again. Then the next part here are some clouds, and if you stay on them too long, they'll disappear. So you have to move along them fairly fast. As you'll notice, the alpha sort of went down, so if we quickly go over them again, you'll notice they start to disappear. So up here we have our new gravity changes, so if we select them, then we change gravity, and now we're facing in this direction. And we can do it again, and basically what these do is change the direction that the gravity is facing. It will also change the direction that the player falls. Now also on the player here, I've added in scrolling, so you can scroll in and out like so on the player. So this means you can play the game zoomed out like this, so you can see everything, or you can play it zoomed in a bit more, so you can just focus on the marble at once. Now the next tutorial level I haven't actually built yet, I'm still in the process of doing it. So this tutorial level is going to be about creating power-ups that the player can use in game to do a whole bunch of other stuff. So the first power-up is called the Dragonfly, so if I equip it, we have a cool cutscene, and it'll pop up with a name, and this is basically like a drone that the player can use to fly around, maybe reach higher places. WSAD to control steering, and then space and shift to control elevation and power. And yep, that's basically what that one does. Now the next power up here is called the Dynamic Launcher. It's basically just a trampoline, and it will allow the player to reach hard to reach places. So if you have another platform that's very high up, then you can just bounce up with this power up. And after 3 bounces, it disappears again, and you'll have the normal player movement restored. Now the last item here has a lot more potential than the previous two, and this is called the Destroyer, and basically what it is a minigun for the player. Now this means the player can shoot stuff obviously, but we can also set things to trigger. So this here also has a limited ammo count, but once that runs out, then the Gatling gun or minigun will disappear again. So anyway, that's the end of this devlog. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, comment, or share down below. All of that stuff would be greatly appreciated. If you have any other questions or suggestions, maybe for another power-up or something, feel free to leave a comment down below as well. So if you want to stay updated on the latest screenshots for this game, then I do have a Blender artist thread down in the description below, where I usually post regular content. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, there's also the Facebook page and a whole bunch of other stuff down there as well. But apart from that, I think that'll be it, so I hope you enjoyed the video, have an awesome week, and I'll see you guys in the next one.